All right, so today we're diving into a massive bet that Spain is making. We're talking a multi-million euro gamble here, and it's all aimed at fixing one of the biggest headaches in modern logistics. This is a story about totally clogged highways, these hidden costs we all end up paying, and a really bold plan to get things moving again, by looking out to the sea.
Just take a quick look around you right now. Your phone, that coffee mug, the chair you're sitting on. Pretty much everything you own has been on a really long journey to get to you. And that journey? It almost always involves one of three major workhorses of the global economy: planes, ships, or trucks.
Okay, so let's get right into it, because while all three of those are absolutely essential, we've become, well, kind of dangerously over-reliant on just one of them. Our roads are paying a heavy price for it, and honestly, so are we, in ways we don't always notice.
And yeah, this chart, it really lays out the imbalance, doesn't it? Across Europe, a whopping 74.5% of all freight, all the stuff being moved around, is on a truck. That leaves just a small slice for the sea and a teeny tiny sliver for rail. I mean, this right here, this heavy reliance on trucks, that's the core of the whole problem we're digging into.
So here's the crucial part. All those trucks come with this hidden price tag. Economists have a fancy term for it. They call them external costs. But for you and me, it's the traffic jams that make you late for work, it's the air pollution that's not great for our health, and it's a higher risk of accidents on our highways. The bottom line is we all pay for these things, whether we think about it or not.
Okay, so this is where Spain really comes into the picture. Because for a country with its kind of geography, this massive reliance on roads, it just seems a little strange, right? I mean, Spain isn't just a country that has a coast, it's a country that is literally defined by it.
Get this, an incredible 80% of Spain's perimeter is coastline. 80%. From the Atlantic all the way to the Mediterranean, the sea is just woven into the fabric of its history and its economy. So this isn't just about geography, it's about a massive, seriously underutilized asset. And this chart, wow, it just brilliantly illustrates their potential. Spain already has the second busiest port system in all of Europe. They're right behind the Netherlands. So the infrastructure is already there. It's like this powerful engine just sitting there ready to be revved up.
In fact, check this out. A full 75%, 3/4 of everything Spain imports already gets there by ship. So the goods are making it to the country's doorstep by sea. But then what happens? They immediately get loaded onto trucks, which go on to clog up those very same highways. It just feels like there has to be a smarter way to do this, right?
Well, the folks in Spain think so too. The government there has launched this really ambitious program, and it's based on a surprisingly simple but powerful idea. Instead of just building more and more roads, they want to pave a blue highway on the water.
Now, the official wonky term for this is modal shift, and it's a really big idea in the European Union right now. It's all about actively encouraging companies to move their stuff from one mode of transport, in this case trucking, to a more sustainable one, like shipping.
When you boil it all down, Spain's plan is actually super simple. Think of it like a cash back for going green program. The government is literally offering a financial reward to any company that decides to put its cargo on a ship instead of trucking it all the way across the country.
And here's why that makes a ton of sense. When you compare those external costs we talked about, the sea winds, hands down, no contest. Shipping creates basically zero traffic congestion. It has a much lower accident rate. And the noise pollution, it's next to nothing compared to a fleet of trucks roaring down the highway. Okay, so how does this thing actually work in practice, right? Like, where's the money coming from, and how does it actually get to the companies that are making the greener choice? Let's follow the money trail.
First off, this is a serious commitment. The program is backed by a €60 million budget, and that cash is coming from the European Union's huge next-generation EU recovery plan. So yeah, this is not some small-scale experiment. We're talking about a major investment. And the process itself is pretty straightforward. Step 1, shipping lines get their sea routes approved. Step 2, haulers and logistics companies use these approved sea services instead of driving. Step 3, Spain's government calculates all the environmental and social savings. Less pollution, less congestion. And finally, Step 4, the haulers get a direct grant, a cash reward for making that better choice.
And the end goal here is crystal clear. The study that kicked this whole thing off said it best. The whole point is to trigger relevant decisions in the transport market that could bring the greatest socio-environmental benefits. In other words, it's all about using money to gently nudge the market in a direction that's better for all of us.
So let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just a story about Spain. What's happening here could actually be a blueprint for how all of Europe,
and maybe even the rest of the world, starts to rethink its supply chains for a much greener future.
I mean, this whole initiative fits perfectly with the much bigger European Green Deal. A major goal of that deal is to shift a massive chunk of freight off the roads and onto rail and sea. Spain's program is basically a real-world test case for how you actually pull that off. And you should know, Spain isn't going it alone here. They're not in a vacuum. Other major maritime nations all across Europe, we're talking Germany, France, the UK, the Netherlands, they're all working on their own strategies to tackle these exact same problems. You can really see a powerful trend starting to emerge. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? At its core, this whole program is just a simple nudge, a financial incentive to change behavior. So if this works, if it can really take thousands of trucks off of Europe's roads, it just makes you wonder, what other huge, critical problems could we start to solve? Not with complicated rules, but with a simple, smart reward.